Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. My name is Connor and let's get into today's live stream. It's a big day. It's the US tax deadline. It's also the anniversary of the Titanic crash. This date has been in anticipation for a while and it's finally here. So let's get into the market and what's going on right now. So again, just to verify that, the Titanic crash date, April 14th, 1912, and sank April 15th, 1912. All right, so it was 1912. And then a year later, the Federal Reserve was created in 1913. So quite an iconic date today. And it's also the day you need to pay your taxes in the US. So hopefully everyone got that done. It wasn't fun for me, but at the same time, it's a good thing, right? Because you pay more, that means you did good, but still, it ain't fun, no matter how well you put it. Anyways, hope everyone's doing amazing. Let's get into the market. Currently, Bitcoin is trading for $83,970. Ethereum trading just below $1,600. And overall, the market is retracing from the Saturday pump that did happen. I'll show that in a moment. Looking at the crypto bubbles top 100, everything is red. Despite Mantra DAO OM, they did rug pull, if you guys recall. We were going over that on Sunday as it was happening live. We were actually live at the time of the rug pull taking place. And it's always quite funny because we can see here, there's a tweet from Cointelegraph, and they had a smash hit event at a luxurious 5-star hotel, the Shangri-La Paris Hotel, on April 10th. And then just a few days later, on April 13th, they did the biggest rug pull ever, basically. So I did go to the Ethereum conference in Denver back at the end of February, start of March. And to be frank, it was a lot of this stuff. Like nothing made any sense. And I decided I don't really ever want to go to a crypto conference again. And here we go. We got the Paris event. Mantra DAO decided to host a grand party at a nice hotel. And then 3 days later, they rug pulled. So that's most of these events, right? A bunch of nonsense, really. Nothing meaningful happens there. But anyways, let's get into the actual market. So Bitcoin right now, let's go to our chart here. So on this chart here, and we can get rid of our notes because that's not important right now. And we'll jump it out to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, most important things to be considering here. All right, we are still at the overall downtrend resistance line, going back all the way to the all-time high. We have not yet reclaimed an important previous swing high level. The most important previous swing high level closest to our current price is up here at 88,750, which is marked in this orange dotted line. We haven't even come quite close to touching that. So yeah, as long as we don't reclaim this previous swing high, there's zero reason to be bullish in my opinion. Like I said during our last live stream, everyone's trying to anticipate the breakout and hope for the breakout. They're all crossing their fingers and praying for the breakout. That is not a viable strategy to succeed in the financial markets, to cross your fingers and pray for a breakout. So hopefully you guys didn't go all in long over here at this resistance. We still may come up to 88K, but as it does look like right now, it still looks like lower before higher. Few things to consider now. As of today, we had our previous week high, which happened on Saturday. All right, price swept that. Price also swept our Monday high. Right, the high price from Monday was $85,770. We also swept that this morning. From these swing failures, right? After these SFPs, we've just been heading down and lower. It looks bearish on these lower time frames. All right, so we're unable to basically recapture any significant resistance levels. Now, right now, we are at these lows over here. We're coming into the Monday low, which was at $83,640. And we also have Saturday's low. Saturday's low price, right? The weekend low was over here at 82,800. So a lot of people for sure have their stops in this general area in the high 82s. I wouldn't be shocked to see price deviate its Monday low, take these stops, and possibly reclaim the range and go for the highs. or the same token, we're still in the downtrend, so we could just see continuation, and we could actually continue to break down and finally go for our lower level over here at 72K. We'll see. Anybody telling you exactly what's going to happen and this needs to happen or it will happen right now just has no idea what they're saying. I don't know how this is going to play out. Nobody knows how this is going to play out. But as of right now, especially with today, we had the sweep of the previous week high as well as Monday's high sweep right into our red zone resistance box, rejected from there. And then we lost support on the lower time frame. We also now lost our trend line support resistance flip, but it's always been resistance. It hasn't flipped to support since the top over here on January 20th when Trump launched his meme and the whole entire market topped. All right, so price is unable to reclaim any resistance levels. To start up the day today, we had a lot of signs of weakness, and now we're seeing downwards continuation. Again, we have these lows that happened on Saturday, right at the open. 82,700, 82,800, and these lows over here, 82,900. I'm looking for that right now. I think we do see a breach of Monday's low and come down here into this level. Our monthly open's also right there. The reaction there will be telling, okay? I do expect a bounce. Then maybe we continue lower. Maybe we reclaim. I'm not really too sure. This is a scalper's market at the current moment in time. Now, on the higher time frame, nothing has changed whatsoever. Like I've been saying for a while, in order for us to have an actual sustained rally, we need to take 72 at the minimum. If we don't take 72, the rally is going to fail. All right, so over here we dropped down to $74,400. We didn't hit 72,000. We didn't hit that liquidity. Here we are pumping right back up to our resistance. So the rally is likely to fail because we haven't taken our key liquidity yet, and price does not have the fuel to actually push through these significant resistance levels, in my opinion. A lot of people out there right now calling for $90,000 plus. It is on the table. For sure it's on the table. But don't expect it to be a strong breakout and lead to a new all-time high as long as 72 wasn't taken. I'm still standing on business on that fact. It's a fact in my mind. Obviously, technical analysis is very subjective, and other people might not view that as fact, but I'm treating 72K as it needs to be hit in order to actually see a sustained move back up in new all-time highs if we're going to get that. All right, so that's our overall picture on Bitcoin. Now, when it comes to USDT dominance, it's the same exact thing, but we just flip it upside down. Again, this is the most important major chart, Tether dominance, USDT. And on USDT dominance, what do we have? We have price unable to break through support. Support's holding super well on USDT dominance as of right now. Right, when Bitcoin pumped this weekend and a lot of altcoins pumped up into their resistance levels, we were shorting them. But where was USDT dominance? It was down here at support. Now we have it reclaiming its trend line and pumping back up. And as the direct result of that, everything is red. So just like Bitcoin needs to flip its downtrend to an uptrend, this must flip its uptrend into a downtrend, and that would be by, first of all, breaking this very important trend line, going all the way back to when? January 20th, the top of the market. This trend needs to break, and this needs to start trending down if you want your altcoins to pump. We don't have that yet, hence why no altcoin is really pumping. Unless it's some new meme coin launched by the usual suspects that are just farming whoever follows them, because that's just how they are. So that's our current state right now of the market in general. It's interesting because if we look at USDT dominance, it did actually, it's right at the Monday high currently. All right, so we'll see if we do get a deviation and then lower, or it pumps over here to like 5.6%, 5.7%, and we get a rejection from this level. As you can see, I do have it marked out as a 23-hour 4 times hidden order block. I'll show you what that means. So as you can see, we have a supply zone. We have price essentially moving right through the supply zone. It did partially hit here. Now it went right through here. It went right through here. This is the second time. It went right through for the third time. It went right through for the fourth time, basically creating 4 fair value gaps And that's why this order block is hidden, okay, because it's behind all these fair value gaps. So this adds a lot of juice to the zone. So yeah, we could see USDT dominance pump over here to like 5.6% and potentially get rejected from there. So we can look for longs when price comes up into this level, expecting a rejection and expecting the market to pump. But we're not there yet, okay? So hence why my bias is actually still to the downside for the market currently. But anyways, there's a little explainer on what I mean by a hidden order block. And now a lot of altcoins I'll show you. Starting off with Ethereum, we're currently at the Monday low price and the weekly open price. All right, so we'll see if we do get a break of these lows and we continue downwards. Now Ethereum, if we're going to bottom, where are we expecting that? We are expecting Ethereum to come home. And Ethereum's home in this case is down here from $1,300 to $1,200. This has not been hit yet. Now, if we do crash, people might be expecting like $900 Ethereum, stuff like that. If you see $1,300 to $1,200 Ethereum, it is a must buy in my opinion. All right, this should line up with 72K BTC quite well. But yeah, I'm not really expecting too much lower for ETH than $1,300 to $1,200. And if that's given, that is a buy. That is a buy if we see it. Now, a lot of alts are also now below their Monday low. Okay, you can see now Doge has just lost Monday's low price over here at 15.67 cents. H-bar came into a level I've been watching. I have not taken this because I'm bearish on things. But it's below Monday's low, so it would make sense for a Monday low deviation. I'm just not ready to hop in long right now because, again, things are not looking too good at the moment for entering long positions with USDT dominance going up like it currently is, and with Bitcoin giving very obvious signs of weakness this morning. It doesn't make sense to be trying to force longs, right? You can, if you're short, you can go to hedge. That would make sense. But overall, yeah, I'm not here to force longs at the current moment in time. Tau as well is below Monday's low price. But if you look over here, we do have some failed supply zones with a fair value gap as well over here. And this starts from $220 down to $217. All right, so maybe Tau reacting from this demand level, but let me just show you this. Again, why I'm not hopping in longs right now. What happened with Tau? Well, we topped over here at 260. We were in this channel. Price broke the channel. And now price also broke its trend line going to the bottom. That happened on April 7th. So it's just bearish signs everywhere you look. All right? There's no point in playing mental gymnastics and trying to like hope and pray, like I was saying, that this is the big breakout. There's no point in hoping and praying. Look at the charts right now. Look at everything that's going on. Everything is showing signs of weakness. So yeah, Tau lost its uptrend that it formed from the bottom on April 7th. It lost it yesterday. As you can see, price broke the trend line, retested it, and now it's headed lower. It is below Monday's low, but and there is a horizontal level, as you can see. There is a horizontal level here, but the trend is right now down with price making lower highs and lower lows. So there's a good chance if you try and long here, you do get blown out and you get stopped out. All right. If I want a long, I would probably be waiting for this, like I just showed you, fair value gap order block that hasn't been tested yet. And that makes more sense. Overall, though, I do actually still have limit orders for Tau from $160 to $120 if we're going to get the scenario where Bitcoin crashes to 72,000 and altcoins crash too. I'm trying to pinpoint the bottom. All right, so that's why I have a shitload of limit orders from $160 down to $120 on Tau. That's what I'm expecting the bottom to be for it. And I'll show you why on the MEXC chart. Okay, so on MEXC over here, if we look in here, if we change the time frames, we can find the exact level I isolated, but that's from 143 to 130. And then we also have the MEXC listing candle high at 120. All right, which is why I have limit orders down to that level at $120. In case it wants to wick all the way down there, I can potentially get filled at the exact bottom. We'll see how it does go. And then 160 is the lows of this range from the August 5th crash. The low was at exactly $162. So I'm looking to buy Tau all in this area if it's given. That's higher time frame if we're going to break down super hard. If not, there is a potential lower time frame long coming into play from 220. But as of right now, yes, price is reacting from this demand zone on the lower time frames, but with all of the signs of weakness, I'm not interested in taking a long on it at the current moment in time. And let's see what else. Jasmy continuing to break down. It is now let's see. It's coming into a level I marked out, Jasmy, but anyways, after hitting this level over the weekend, this is down 18%. So all you had to do is short this weekend. CRV as well, as you can see, also starting to move down. So, and below Monday's low at that. It actually looked like it reclaimed Monday's low now. But it looks like a failure to reclaim, actually. What do I mean by that, right? Price deviated Monday's low, rejected off of Monday mid-range, and now it looks like it wants to continue lower potentially. Everything looks weak. Everything looks weak. All right, so all the shorts from Saturday, they were all correct. And overall, I think Bitcoin does go a bit lower here. So sorry to break anyone's heart who thought we were going to have an epic pump today and see 90K Bitcoin, 95K Bitcoin. It doesn't look like it's in the cards right now. Doesn't look like that's happening. But anyways, let's see what's going on in the live chat, guys. Smash up the like button. Hope you're all doing great. If you're just tuning in right now, hopefully you guys caught that analysis and you're able to get a better understanding of how I am looking at the market. We got Cryptomaniac 925. What is going on, Cryptomaniac? We also got Abdul. Abdul saying Julian Hosp, the guy who called bottom, who's worth $1 billion or something like that, according to or people in the chat here, Abdul. But he says Julian Hosp is saying the crypto speculation may come to an end for 1 to 2 years. That's a bold prediction. And I can understand why, because the industry has essentially become rotted at the core with like corruption. And all we've seen for the past like 6 months are just rug pulls and scam meme coins, and people that don't believe in crypto, like influencers, phase banks, coming in, launching the MLG token, making it sound like the best thing ever, and then just taking the money out of it and converting it to fiat currency and exits the crypto ecosystem. So yeah, I mean, there's reason to believe in that nobody wants to touch crypto for the next 1 to 2 years because trust has been destroyed. So we'll see how that goes. Overall, though, I'm just going to continue to play level by level. But it's a prediction that makes a lot of sense. If you actually think about it, the industry trust has been destroyed. So that makes perfect sense to me. Sana Nay, what is going on, Sana Nay? We also got the Silva Dollar, what is going on? And Ladger Doodle saying to smash the like button. Guts Motors, Dan Griffiths, what's going on? Season 3 OG, are you going to stake your TREB? So when it comes to TREB and staking, if you want access to the Launchpad and all the other features that TREB has going for it, I would recommend you to stake. Now overall, so Treble did just integrate all other like tokens. It's the V4 aggregation DEX right now on Base. No other DEX has this. Chart right now holding 25 cents. It looks good. I'm bullish on TREB. I think in terms of DeFi, it's going to perform great. Right? A lot of people chasing other DEXs, even on Base, which I think is a fool's errand. especially if you actually look at the inflation of many of these other DEX tokens and compare it to something like TREB. I think going after anything else is a fool's errand, but hey, maybe I'm biased, but that's just the way I see things. But yeah, when it comes to staking, I would say if you have a ton of it, I would consider staking some of it. I also think it's a good idea to stay liquid in case the price pumps hundreds of percent in a short amount of time. You don't want to have all your tokens locked in a stake, so I wouldn't stake everything. Shout out to Mish Michaels. What's going on, Mish? We also got Matt1 as well as Crypto Mike and Adrian Kent. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate your support. FBS says, kudos to you, man, for keeping it real. When the market was down, all quoted Buffett's, be greedy when others are fearful, but none of those grifters are now saying be fearful when others are greedy. Yeah, I mean, look, most people, see, the thing is about the markets, like crypto is just one financial market. And if you're not a student of the game, continually trying to like learn, get better, improve, sharpen your skills, you're going to regurgitate and say the same old bullshit that never works. All right, so thank you, FBS, for recognizing that, yeah, I mean, I'm a student of the game, man. You never stop learning. The day you say you're an expert and you stop learning is the day that you're going to start failing. So appreciate you for the support, FBS. We also got the Albert, what is going on? We got Elvis Man, what's going on, Elvis Man? Hand South wants Bitcoin to dip below 90K. So again, for anyone just tuning in right now, we had a lot of signs of weakness earlier this morning, right? Mainly over here at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. when we had this bearish candle print on the 1 hour time frame for Bitcoin, right? You can see what happened here. We swept Monday's high and we swept the previous week high, closed below them, and we're seeing follow through to the downside now. We are at our trend line from the all-time high. We've been battling at that, as you can see from this past Saturday. All of this range is consolidation at this trend line going back to the all-time high, as we can see. So yeah, we're at that level now. We're also at the weekly open and Monday low, and we haven't touched those yet. We may touch them. I think they're going to break right here in the short term, and we probably are at least going down to the high 82s. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm short, so maybe I'm biased, but I think we're going lower in the short term right now. Let's see. We got Rosie saying hit the like button. And Boris says, I have a question. So I have crypto wallet with 1,000 USDT, and my recovery seed phrase is 12 words. Here's the 12 words. All right, Boris, you are going to get blocked from our chat because what you're doing right now is obviously some kind of scam. Let's go ahead and get this guy out of here. All right, what else is going on? Elvis Man says, Connor, what do you make of the Soul Layer coin you reviewed last stream? I don't know. I haven't looked at it since the last stream. And which chart did I use? Probably the Bybit spot chart. I thought I marked it up, so I just want to see if I am missing anything. Yeah, whatever. We'll use a fresh chart here. All right, so what do I think of Soul Layer that I reviewed last stream? Well, what do I think of it? It looks topped. Many reasons to believe it's topped. Okay, we have this topping pattern happening here where price is just continuing to push up and make these higher highs, but you can see how weak it is with no candle able to close above the swing high. All right, everything is below it. We actually we're going to put a parallel channel here, so we got both sides. And also bearish div is printing here on the 12 hour. But if we throw a parallel channel up here, like so, all right, so if we throw a parallel channel up, this is the same thing that Tau printed this weekend. I want to show you. Go to the 1 hour. Okay, Tau over here this weekend, essentially was in this parallel channel. It was ascending, came right into resistance, and then it put in the 3-drive topping pattern with bearish divergence. And as you can see, price is down 10% from there. And here we go, 11%. It looks like it wants to reclaim Monday's low. We'll see how this goes. Keep an eye on that. But back to Sol Layer. So yeah, we have, very obvious kind of sign of weakness in the sense where price is making these higher highs, but RSI is printing the lower highs. I think I also pulled the fib and showed that it was at the 1.618 or negative 61.8 extension. Let's confirm that. Yes. All right. So as you can see, from the previous all-time high to the previous all-time low down here, we have the 1618 Fibonacci extension hit exactly to the tick, like exactly. You can't make it up. It's actually exact just here. This thing looks like it's going down yelling timber. That's what I think of Sol Layer here. Potentially you want to be interested around 150 to 130, but we can revisit this later. For now, I wouldn't touch it. Maybe I would look to short, but you're also a bit late. Ideally, you would have been short above $2. But I hope that helps, Elvis, man. Let's get into some news on the day right now, guys. So one thing that is interesting, let's go keep our chart on Bitcoin though, so that we can see how this price action develops. One thing that was interesting was this morning at 8:22 a.m., Michael Saylor tweeted, "Meet me at the top," with this image of him, an AI image of him sitting on the top of a mountain. And this comes just days after Michael Saylor decided to go ahead and buy more right around our current price. He bought like $300 million worth of Bitcoin. I think it was last week. Basically at current price. And this morning he tweets, "Meet me at the top." And like we've talked about here recently, Michael Saylor loves buying Bitcoin at local tops. So is he trying to send a message here? I don't really know. I just thought this was pretty interesting. Maybe a bit of a cryptic message. One thing to note, we also have a few exchanges suspending withdrawals this morning. As you can see, this happened at 4:20 a.m. my time. Binance and KuCoin went down after the AWS data center outage. Binance suspends withdrawals to keep users' funds safe. All right, so exchange freezings. This is an exchange freezing. This usually happens when price is like crashing down to mark a bottom. Maybe I'm going too much into this, but did this mark a top? Too early to say right now. It did mark a local top over here, 86,600. But, we're yet to see if we're going to see downside continuation or we're going to end up holding this trend line level still. And we're going to bounce from here. Time will tell there. We already talked about the Mantra DAO big event and how that led to the biggest crypto rug pull ever a few days later. And one more thing I want to show you in terms of news, mainstream news. You can see Coin Bureau tweeted out today that President Trump and his family, they made $1 billion in crypto profits. Here's how they did it. Trump trading cards, NFTs. So he launched an NFT collection. World Liberty Financial, he launched a crypto exchange. Meme coins, Trump and Melania. He launched meme coins and they were rug pull scams, okay? Also, TruthFi Bitcoin Plus ETF proposal. So he also wants to launch an ETF product that he controls and will get the fees from. New stablecoin, USD1. World Liberty Financial is behind that one. Again, that will generate fees, which is profit for him and his companies. And also he's into mining Bitcoin. So as you can see here, he ain't trading. Trump ain't trading to make $1 billion. He's simply making products that people buy, like NFTs and meme coins, and then their value goes to zero. But again, like I said earlier, this is the reason in crypto. Our guy, what's his name again? Abdul said that somebody is anticipating nobody wants to buy crypto for the next 1 to 2 years. I wonder why. Look, he made a bunch of garbage and sold it to people, just like all the scam rug pull guys, your meme coin guys that are, the LA Vape cabal and the streamers. Like, all they did was launch a bunch of bullshit and take people's money. No skill was involved. They used their influence. But anyways, thought that was interesting. $1 billion of profit and no trading was done. They simply launched a few meme coins, made some exchanges, made some NFTs, and bang, you make $1 billion. It's too easy, huh? For the Trumps it is, at least. And just remember our boy Eric. Here's our boy Eric on TV saying that it was a great time to buy Bitcoin not too long ago, and price is down, like, I think it was up here at 95. But yeah, quite ironic to say the least, if you ask me. So that's a bit of news for the day in terms of not mainstream news. So Monad's picking up big time. The user activity on the testnet's through the roof. And today, some big news launched from Atlantis, the DEX that I think is going to be the biggest DEX on Monad when it launches. So the aggregation is live. As you can see, you can trade any token from V2 to V4 on Monad. Again, the only V4 DEX on Monad. And they say Atlantis is the only platform you need to DeFi on Monad, offering the best rates and the fastest swaps. So you can take a look at it here. And it looks super clean. All right, let's say I want to buy, you can buy any Monad token now, essentially. Yeah, there's no point in showing a swap. I've shown you how to do that in our videos on how to farm the Monad airdrop. But I would keep tabs on Atlantis. The airdrop thing is still happening, so I would still be using this. And in terms of other DEXs on Monad, I think this is going to smoke all the other competition. So if you haven't already, go watch my videos I made about Monad, farming the airdrop, as well as just what it is in general. And it's expected to go live for the mainnet in Q2 this year. So should be interesting, and maybe that will line up. Maybe it will line up with a market boom. That would be pretty bullish if it does. But again, in order for us to really have a nice market boom, that's actually not going to be a major total disappointment. I do still think we need to see $72,000 on Bitcoin before we can actually have a sustained rally higher. So we'll see how this does go. Today is the big day we've been waiting for, April 15th. As of right now, it's essentially been a non-event. Nothing really exciting has happened. So we continue to wait for the direction the market wants to go. Bias is to the downside currently. Let's see, Crypto Maniac, what is going on? And we got AK, he says ETH going to 1K. I did answer this earlier. So my bottom for ETH, I don't expect it to go to 1K. I am looking from 1,300 to 1,200. And smack dab in the middle of that is 1,250. I'm expecting this to be bottom for ETH. I don't see it going as low as 1K unless something really breaks and there's a crazy big liquidation, like a big player going down. I don't see that happening though, but that stuff always comes out of left field. It's essentially a black swan. So yeah, I don't think we'll see 1K unless we get a black swan. I'm more so looking for 1,300 to 1,200 for a bottom on Ethereum. Manuel Vera says, can you look at Ondo? All right. So on the 4-hour time frame, we do have, again, everything was the same this weekend, right? Everything pumped. Saturday was that local top. Now we have Ondo at Monday's low as well as the weekly open. Potentially, we are forming some Monday low deviations where price is going to reclaim this range, maybe break resistance from that, or we're going to see the downwards continuation and we will go into our monthly open area. Now, as you can see here, we have a big demand zone, which did actually end up marking the bottom over here on April 7th. And when that bottom was forming, we left behind this supply level. As you can see, the supply level, price pumped right through it, left it behind. So this is now, again, an order block hidden behind a fair value gap. And this is at 76 cents. All right, so that is an area to look to go long. And that is an area that would make sense if we do actually continue to fall from this current price at Monday's low, which is right at 76 cents. So again, bearish posture on things, not necessarily expecting a pump right now. I am watching to see if we do get the Monday low reclaim and pump out of that, but I don't necessarily think it's going to happen. But Ondo, yeah, I would be looking. Depends. If we really like flush, this area will just get destroyed through. But watch the price action as it approaches 75 cents, and I would be looking for longs down there. Now to the upside, you can see in the recent rally, this pump up, we had a previous swing high at 95 cents. Price didn't reclaim it. It rejected from the supply area. All right, supply zone rejection. Unable to reclaim a previous swing high. There's really like zero reason to get super bullish. Yes, there is on the daily time frame. Bullish divergence. Right, it's there. Right, potential bottom forming. The confirmation of that bottom forming would be price reclaiming the previous swing high at 95.6 cents. We don't have that yet, which means that there's no confirmation that the bottom is in, which means we could still go lower. And if we were to go lower, where should you look? You should look just beneath 50 cents over here. Now, if we were to pump and reclaim this previous swing high, then we flip bullish and we look to buy the pullback for the move higher. But overall, I am leaning towards more downside. Any altcoin we look at is going to have pretty similar analysis and structure because all of these altcoins trade in a very similar manner, and they're all respecting USDT dominance. And USDT dominance now, as you can see, with a Monday high sweep and back inside the range. Okay, so is this going to come down? And are we going to see coins pump? Or are we going to see this continue upwards to our level that we discussed earlier at 5.6%, which would means which would mean that altcoins will continue to go down further here in the short term. I'm expecting this to pump and altcoins to drop, but hey, that's why we use risk management, because I really am not sure how it will go. All right, we got Perry.80. Our guy Perry says, thoughts on Fartcoin and entry suggestions for it. How do you rate that trade risk reward versus other meme/AI coins? Fartcoin. So Fartcoin's been pumping and it's been leading the charge here. It did tap 98 cents on Saturday, right? That was its top. And now price is forming this range, if you will, over the past few days. So what's the trade here? Thoughts on Fartcoin and entry suggestions for it? Well, as you can see, I do have a short plan for like 106 up here, but that hasn't been hit, right? So as of right now, it's a no trade for me. This is a pretty obvious 12-hour demand level, untested, fresh, which is right here at 75 cents. right over 382 fib. Could potentially be used for a continuation move to this level, and that would be a Monday low deviation sweep. But Perry, I'm going to assume you're talking like higher time frame entry to long to like ride up here. And if that's the case, well, we need to be prepared for the scenario that Bitcoin does actually go to 72 and maybe even lower. And if that happens, what's going to happen to Farcoin is probably going to, sorry for the pun, it's probably going to shit the bed. All right. So if that were the case and we see Bitcoin go down to 72, good chance this does end up getting, kind of destroyed lower, and this entire pump will be retraced. So in that case, I would be looking. The monthly open is at 45 cents. I would look for that. There's no trade on Farcoin in my opinion right now. If we're going to pump up to 107, I'll look to short. If we're going to, not really interested in anything lower time frame, because this is just, it's erratic. It's really like the moves are crazy. So yeah, I don't track this market like I track other markets. So I'm not interested in anything in the lower time frame. Higher time frame, I'd be interested in shorting up here at 106 or longing below 50 cents. But right now it's a no trade. And Bitcoin trying to pump as USDT dominance tries to reverse. Looks like we got a super chat from Give It All Up. He says, Boda is waiting for you, strong times ahead. Yes, sir. So Boda's been doing very well recently. As we can see, current market cap is 364K. And I did put out a tweet when it was like below 250K market cap or so, I believe. But anyways, from the bottom at 150K, it's up 186%. Look, the narrative, May the 4th, the Star Wars narrative day, that's less than a month away now. That caused a pretty insane pump over here, as you can see last year. Will it repeat? Time will tell. If it lines up with a market-wide pump, that would be great. But we would need USDT dominance to roll over hard and probably come to at least 4.36% to get a pump we want to see on any meme coin in general. All right, so for all meme coins, Fartcoin, Boda, Keyboard Cat, Miggles, anything, if you want them to pump hard, we got to see USDT dominance roll over hard here. All right, this is going to lead to some awesome pumps, but it ain't happening just yet. But yeah, I think Boda could produce some pretty insane pumps if the conditions align. The conditions aligning essentially means USDT dominance dropping hard. If and when that happens, we should feast on spot bags. But as of right now, that is not the case. I do appreciate that super chat. Give It All Up. Thank you, sir. Shout out to Don. Don says, we love you, brother. Thank you, Don, for the support, man. Really appreciate that. We also got Richard Cully says, what's up, Connor? I'm new to your channel. Love your no-nonsense approach. Can you take a quick look at Cookie? Well, Richard, thank you for the kind words, sir. And we can for sure look at Cookie. So Cookie is an AI agent play. They're really just a data aggregator for AI agents unless they change things. But it has now fully retraced. Like every other AI agent coin, this is not, say, bad because it fully retraced. The entire AI agent market in general retraced its entire bubble pump. All right, every chart you look at from AI agents is down. They all look the same. Cookie is one of the better ones. Will it make a comeback? Tough to say, being that it just went through a very insane speculative bubble only like 4 months ago, where it multiplied in price. In less than 50 days, it went 40x. So we'll see. And that goes with all AI agent plays at the moment in time. Now, bottomed out on April 7th. Every meme on-chain coin bottomed out on April 7th. What happened on April 7th? USDT dominance spiked up here to 6.2 2%. Again, showing that this is the most important chart to pay attention to in the cryptocurrency market. This was a key level we had marked. This is why I bought things spot on April 7th, because I had this level marked and I was expecting it to hit and expecting that to be the bottom for coins. Anyways, back to Cookie now. So it looks like it found its bottom over here at a 31.2 million market cap. Thoughts on Cookie are it's still in a very obvious downtrend. It's still a very dangerous thing to buy currently. You can see the last time we had what appeared to be some type of bottom over here in February. Price essentially formed a range for about a month and then continued lower. All right, so thoughts on Cookie. Dangerous to touch it. If it is to reclaim, like this is a previous swing high now from Saturday. It is, but I don't put a lot of weight on that. I put more weight on this. I put more weight on this. All right, this is really the first important previous swing high level to reclaim at 64 million. In terms of trying to catch bottoms, it hasn't reached my lower levels that I have marked, which is at 25 million and 17 million. So I'm going to stick with my own analysis that I did I don't remember when I was looking at Cookie to mark these levels, but I put these lines down here for a reason. So I'm going to stick with my own judgment and say that if we want to try and catch a bottom, we should look for 24 to 17 mil. Right now, there's no reason to buy. All right? Unless you bought it on April 7th when it was at the bottom, I wouldn't chase it now. I would either wait for a previous swing high to be reclaimed and buy that pullback, because at least then you have confirmation and you won't end up in a situation where you buy it now and it just drops another 50% and you're like, what the heck happened? Right? So I'd either wait for a reclaim of this previous swing high, or I'd wait for price to move into the outlined buy zone that was put on the chart at a much previous date. And we simply just trust the analysis. That's the thing, guys. With trading, with investing, it's a slow, boring game. You've seen the quotes before, like, in trading, 90% of the time is doing nothing. It's so true, right? Like, you look at the chart, you mark your levels. If price comes into the level, you buy or sell, and then you just wait. It's boring. So that's the case. It's just so boring right now. Very boring market. Shout out to the Boda gang in the live chat. We got a few other people asking about Boda, I see. Again, we need proper conditions for these memes to pump, and those proper conditions would be USDT dominance falling off of a cliff, but we don't have that just yet. We got the big E32. Can you look at DeepBook protocol, which is a SUI project, DeepBook. I'm going to assume it ain't looking great. Typical chart. Everything is, like I said, all these altcoins, they look the same, all right? So here's your speculative pump. When did it top out, guys? When did it top out? January 20th. Hopefully, like, as you watch this channel, you understand that this is all a matrix. This is basically a matrix. Anyways, when did USDT dominance bottom out? January 20th. Once you see, you cannot unsee. But the problem is most people don't want to go into that uncomfort to see the truth. They would rather continue to believe the lies because the truth will shatter their reality. The quote like that from the Matrix, it's something along those lines, but damn is it true. So anyways, when did it top out? January 20th. It's been a consistent downtrend since that. It has come back to its original range, as we can see here. And it went pretty low. It went all the way to the bottom of the previous range. If I zoom it in, you'll be able to see that a little bit better. Here's the bottom of the previous range. Here's where price hit. So thoughts on Deep Book, same thing. Has not reclaimed the previous swing high. All right. It did come super low and it did come into demand zones. We can for sure say that happened. But as of right now, the market in general is in limbo, waiting for further clarification on which direction it wants to go. I do still have a bearish posture, so I'm going to say I wouldn't really touch it right here. You can look to buy if it pumps above this swing high and has a daily close above it. Then you buy that pullback, okay, and then you can have actual confirmation that a new uptrend has formed. Right now, if you're to buy, if you drew a range from this low to this high, you're directly in the middle of the range. That's not a place to take any action from. All right, the middle of the range is the worst place to take an action from, in my opinion. All right, you should wait for the extremes of the range, the premium or the discount. So if you want to wait for the discount again, you should be waiting for down here like 125 million market cap. Right now, it's in the middle of the range. It's a no trade zone. And Donnie Freeman says, wondering why GFI is pumping today. I don't know, but we can take a look at that. So if we go to our real world asset watch list, GFI Goldfinch is up 51%. I'm not sure what has sparked this pump or this rally. All right, so again, utilizing all the same concepts we talk about here when it comes to analysis. We marked that previous swing high, right? Price is above it now. The daily candle is going to close in 2 hours and 7 minutes. If it is to close above, well, there's reasons now to be bullish and say this was, confirmed the bottom. The only thing that worries me is the fact that nothing else is remotely performing in the same manner as GFI. So what caused this? What the heck is going on? Is it an exit pump? It's really hard to say. I just looked it up on Twitter here. I'll show you. It's just the typical, hopefully you guys that are following this channel, when you see this stuff on Twitter, it should make you cringe hard, right? Like dominating volume on base, 100x. I like the ROI, like all 100x here. Like this is all garbage, all right? Anyways, I don't know why it's pumping, but in general right now, it's a little worrisome because it's the only coin doing anything, the only coin pumping in a market of disappointment currently. So it just came into this level and it's reacting from it. Just came in right here. Right here. Hit that level exactly, and it is rejecting. Look, don't buy it now. Don't long it now. I wouldn't even be looking to short it now. Something's obviously going on. It's probably, I say probably, it 100% is some kind of inorganic move. I don't see a reason for this to pump so hard in such a short amount of time, unless I'm totally missing something. But unless you had a plan already in place for GFI, I just wouldn't touch it. It's at resistance. We'll see how the daily close comes along, and we can make further plans from there. But I just have no plans on this thing, and I had no prior plans, so it's just something that we just observe. Something that we just observe. And all the other times, look, this is the daily chart. All the other times it's had one of these candles from the low volume doing nothing, even though the volume is considerably higher today. But all these other past rallies from the past few months, weeks, they have all failed. So it's hard to say, but this looks like it's probably going to fail again, if I had to guess. If I had to take a bet, but I'm not going to bet on that. Let's see. We got CCS. What's up, CCS? He says, please check out Cubic. Cubic doing well. As we can see, it's back up to 1,300 per billion. It's spiked up on the daily to 1475 per billion. This is resistance. These are the prices of the previous swing highs. This is a previous level as well, right? Former demand zone. It's not fresh at all, but it's still been utilized as resistance. So yeah, this would be pretty big if Cubic can break this. If Bitcoin is going to cooperate and USDT dominance is going to cooperate, we can see Cubic break this. But the issue is that I'm not sure that we're going to see the cooperation we need from USDT dominance to see these coins continue to rally and pump. That's the only issue I have, right? Or is this going to cooperate and actually break its uptrend? Because if it's not going to cooperate and it wants to pump up a bit higher, every pump we see is going to get erased. That's happening today. That's the issue I have right now with being bullish in the short to midterm. I'm not really seeing any really valid reasons for it currently. Again, this swept its Monday high. Bitcoin didn't touch the Monday low, but ETH did. ETH swept its Monday low. Every altcoin swept its Monday low. H-bar is in an area of interest. We're keeping that one on tabs. Right, Tau below the Monday low, but again, we have this zone down here, 220. Everything is below or reclaim Monday's low. This swept Monday's high. How's it gonna end? How's it gonna play out? And let's see, Bitcoin somewhat reacting right now. But yeah, anyways, back to Cubic. Yeah, it doesn't look great here. Doesn't look great. All the same patterns that altcoins printed on Saturday when they pumped, Cubic is printing today, where we have price pumping into resistance, bearish divergence, swing failure patterns, Monday high sweeps. Also, I just showed you how all these other altcoins are like down here below Monday's low. This is above the Monday high. If you guys know the Monday range trading strategy, you look to short the Monday high sweep for a move to Monday's low and potentially lower. So it doesn't necessarily look like it's ready to continue a pump. I think at the very least it's going to come back down and take Monday's low, and then maybe from there it can continue if conditions do persist and allow it to. Shout out to Ryan Bauer. Our man Ryan Bauer says he's grateful for the pumps and prepared/loaded for the dumps. My man's got a plan. I love to hear that. Thank you for your support, Ryan. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for all the support. What else is going on? We got Bergen County Real Estate saying great stream. Thank you, sir. And we got Ross Fletterjohn from Las Vegas, my man Ross. Guys, smash up the like button for Ross and go subscribe to his channel. He's a pro when it comes to AI and a friend of mine as well. Subscribe to Ross's channel. You can find that link from his comment in the live chat. And he's actually worth subscribing to because he knows what he's talking about when it comes to artificial intelligence. Let's see. We'll take one more question here as we're coming up to 1 hour. Shout out to Stephen B saying cheers from Brazil. Thank you, sir. And Randy Moss is asking about Litecoin. So let's look at Litecoin. LTC. So Litecoin bottomed out when? April 7th. Litecoin topped out when? December 5th, which was the first time USDT dominance hit 3.8%. Go look at that on your own if you don't believe me. But anyways, previous swing high 88.50. Hasn't been reclaimed. Now this zone over here, right? This was an outline buy level. Price did wick beneath it, but overall did not close below it. So anyways, this held up well. Nice move out of it. And now we pumped to resistance on Saturday and we're retracing that move like most things. So the question is the buy zone for Litecoin. So let's answer that question. What's the buy zone for Litecoin? Where did it bottom out on August 5th? It bottomed out at $50, $49.80. This is a level. 50 down to 40. So if we were to see Bitcoin go down to 72,000, if we were to see USDT dominance spike up here to our levels above 6.5%, we'll probably see Litecoin go down to 50. If we see the case where the total 2 decides to hold strong, and it doesn't go for our levels, our next buy zone levels, which is at 730 billion to 600 or 700 billion, then it might not go as low. By the way, before I go back to Litecoin, I will say everyone should stop what they're doing right now. And if they don't have these levels marked on the total 2, go mark them out on your own chart on TradingView. This low from August 5th, 720 billion, as well as these lows at 700 billion. The reason I bought altcoins on April 7th, right? The reason I bought the bottom here for a few coins, my meme pick, I bought Apu right at the bottom, April 7th, and then I bought Doge, I missed Tau. But anyways, the reason I did that was because what happened? We had price come to my key level on April 7th. Like, this is how you find the bottom of things. So anyways, go mark out 730 billion and 700 billion. If you see it hit anytime within the next 1, 2, 3 months, whatever, you preferably in the shorter, within the next, say, few weeks, if this hits, is bottom. This is bottom, okay? So that goes with all altcoins. When you see this down at these levels, that's your buy zone for any altcoin you want to buy. If this comes back to Litecoin now, if we're going to go to 700 billion, you'll probably see $50. If not, I would be looking to buy anywhere near the previous low, around 63, mid 60s. You'll probably do quite well with a pump back up. But yeah, that's how I would go about any coin that you want to buy. If we're going to flush out again, you need to use the majors. It will change everything when it comes to crypto. It's going to give you perspective where most people are completely blind. It shows you the big picture that you need to see to make the correct decisions. All right? So again, we hit 860. By the way, this is all well documented. I've been live consistently before the crash happened on April 7th, saying that this is the key level to wait for to buy. It hit. It was the bottom of everything. I'm saying now again, if we come down here, if it happens, I don't know if it's going to happen, but if it does, it's probably going to be the bottom for everything again. So that's how you find any bottom you want. Match it up with any coin that you want to buy and use this as a guide, and it will save you from getting washed out, and it may enable you to buy the perfect bottom, potentially. Anyways, that's all I got for today. Nothing too interesting did happen, and we are waiting to see if Bitcoin wants to continue to break down after the many signs of weakness we had this morning, including the swing failure pattern of the sweep of Monday's high and the previous week high. We got some downwards continuation. We're at a very, very critical point on the daily time frame, being that we're at our trend line resistance. Are we going to break the downtrend, or is this rally going to fail again? As of right now, it looks like it will fail again. With that being said, that's all I got for today. This could change at a moment's notice, but as of right now, I do still have a bearish bias on the market. Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. If you did enjoy the live stream and you haven't smashed up the like button, smash up the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed to the channel. Apply to the Crypto Empire Mastermind down below. Follow me on Twitter. And with that being said, appreciate all of you guys, and I will see you very soon. Have a great rest of your day. Connor from Crypto Empire signing out.